So I just rewatched episode 21. Like I said, I wanted to gather more context. It was very interesting. One of the things that I was aware of as I did the reaction, but really coalesced in my brain as I watched it the second time, is just how much they talk about Godhood. And apparently, the goal of Sealy, I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce the organization's name, and, Akira, Senji's father, their goal is to create a God. And there was a lot of talk about, gods and what that means and what it means to be a god and creating a god, becoming a god, etc. in this creative writing community in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? I was very active in the community. I was fairly young at that point. I was in my late 20s. So everybody in this writing group was probably between 20 and 30. So we were on the young side. We were people that were probably, for the most part, we were reading authors who had been influenced by Heinlein, Asimov, and Arthur C. Clarke, right? The giants, the first generation of science fiction. Well, they were probably the second. H.G. Wells and the guy who wrote Conan the Barbarian and Riverworld, whatever the hell his name was. Those guys were the first generation, and there was others. I'm not going to go down the history of writing, but there was that generation. The second generation was the 50s and 60s science fiction writers, right? The third generation were people that were influenced by the second generation. The second generation was influenced by the first generation. Now you could read further back, of course, but not everybody does. A lot of people only read what's been out in the last 10, 15 years, especially science fiction. Fantasy, there's not evolving technology that's going to ruin fantasy for you. But there is evolving technology that's going to ruin science fiction for you. I can't read From the Earth to the Moon. They're talking about taking a cannon and shooting you to the moon. Great writer. Probably a great story. I can't read that shit. I just don't believe it, right? Like, it's just, there's a certain amount of suspicion and disbelief you got to be able to have. And when science fiction gets too old, you're just not going to have it, right? So, they're talking about the canals on Mars and stuff. You might as well be fantasy at that point. If you can think about it as fantasy, you can enjoy the story. But if you're in a science fiction mindset, you're not going to read it. So, the people that we were cutting our teeth on in the late '90s, early 2000s, were the people who were publishing books in the '80s and the '90s, right? For me, it was Jack L. Chalker. I loved him. Alan Dean Foster. I loved him. These are people that were influenced by the writers of the '50s, '60s. So, my point is, we were obsessed with becoming gods. Science fiction gods, fantasy gods. What does it mean to be a god? We talked page on message boards and in person, just hours at a bar in person. When we get together during Dragon Con, in Atlanta, we'd be talking for hours. The rest of the year, we're talking on message boards. Just round and round we go. What it means to become a god. These are fantasy stories about becoming gods. Just I wrote a bunch of fan fiction and just, loose fiction. You write one draft and you're done, and we just share with each other just to have fun, right? Just message board fiction, round robin fiction where each person writes a chapter, all this stuff. It's all about becoming gods. And so I came to a consensus in my own brain with getting all these opinions, all this information, all these conversations. How do I define a god? A fictional god. What does it mean to be a god? Like, there are all kinds of powerful beings. You can be a demon, you can be an angel, maybe just a super powerful alien. You can talk about what Asimov says, that any technology sufficiently advanced might as well as be magic. It just looks like it comes across as magic. So, if you have enough technology and you've evolved enough, maybe on the evolutionary scale, or you somehow acquire power, you will seem like a god, right? So we got to be able to define these things. I think the word god should be reserved for the highest form of beings. I think that's what we would all think of. Buffy fought a god in season 5. But, was it a god? Here's my definition. I think to be a god, you have to fulfill both of these requirements. Both. Okay? It's assumed the base level, before we even start the conversation, you have a lot of power. And you're probably immortal. I don't think you have to be immortal. But you at least have to have a long life. You have a lot of power, a lot of defenses. People can't just come up and, slap you and break your neck and kill you. So you have to have a lot of defenses, a lot of power. That's just assumed. That's off the top. We're not even going to put this on the list. Before you can even walk in the door of the conversation, you have to have these things. Okay, so Glory from Buffy definitely meets that requirement. Okay, she has a lot of power. She has a lot of defenses. She's hard to kill. Requirement number one, you have to be able to create sentient life. I think that's a bare minimum for me to consider you a god. That disqualifies 95% of what we actually call gods in fiction and, anywhere else. Mythology, the gods of the Greek mythology, most of them could not create sentient life. Some of them could, but most of them could not. So, right here, I think what this show will define as a god, this will not fit. Although it could, because it's possible. What they've been hinting at here is they are creating sentient life. That is entirely possible. Like I haven't seen the end of the show yet. So I'm getting the impression that they could be laying the groundwork for that. I did have somebody spoil me in a comment saying, "Oh, your Adam and Eve theory is wrong." Well, thanks. I guess I won't speculate on that anymore. Why would you say that? Unless we get to the end of the series and it's unclear, it's ambiguous, then you can give your opinion on that, sure. If I am wrong about that theory, no Adam and Eve, that takes away from the idea that these are gods a little bit. Adam and Eve creates life. If you can look at it one way, you could say that God created the life, God. But some people think that Adam and Eve were the first beings and they created life and everything comes from them. That's one interpretation I've seen, right? That's kind of what I was thinking here. But if that avenue is closed off, maybe what we're talking about in the show are not gods as I define them. This is just my definition. I would actually be curious what your definition is. If you have a different definition of what you consider a god, right? It's a broad word. I think each person will have their own definition. Okay, so you have to be able to create sentient life that's self-aware, has feelings and motivations outside of you. So not robots, not AI. AI is self-aware, but does it have motivations and feelings and autonomy outside of you? No, it's bound by its programming. Now you can say human beings are bound by their programming, but then we start getting into really abstract conversations. They're interesting conversations, but for the purposes here, if we're going to try to keep this intro under 30 minutes, I need to keep moving. So create sentient life. What's the other thing I think a god needs to have? They need to have the ability to create an afterlife for after this sentient life dies. They got to be able to go somewhere. You have to have an afterlife. So only the most powerful beings in the universe can fulfill both those requirements. If you can create sentient life and you can create an afterlife where people can go, you're a god. That's just how I define it. I'd be very curious how you define it. But that keeps us from throwing that word around too much, which is a big problem, like I said, in a lot of the fiction and the fan fiction and the loose fiction and the one draft fiction and just the ideas and speculation and mythologies from Greek mythology on down, right? All the other mythologies. So where I'm coming from is, don't use the word unless you mean it. We've got to be talking about actual gods, not just the most powerful being you've ever encountered. The most powerful being I've ever encountered was Cocaine Bear. That don't make him a god. So, I'm just saying we should have some standards. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. This is episode 22. We're going on 1. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, total mental breakdown is worse than a regular mental breakdown, I guess. Daughter looks kind of pissed, actually. I know she's just hurt, but she kind of looks pissed. Oh, we're finally getting her backstory, huh? Yeah. So that's just her normal resting asshole face, huh? Nice saving on your animation budget, by the way. Now, that's interesting. More talk of gods, of course. You hardly sound like a practitioner. What an a-hole. You wouldn't think they only have a few episodes left as long as they're holding on this. Jesus. I mean, you're burning money here. She does think for herself. Nobody can say that's not true. She definitely thinks of herself. Thinks for herself. She thinks of herself, but she thinks for herself too. I know, right? They got 99 problems. That's how I want my necrosis. Less than 0.5%. Jesus. Adam and Eve. Man, that theory's too good. I still believe it. Pretty much. Hey, man, they may be able to pick up on that. You can't be hating what you work for, man. I get the idea, by the way, these Evas, like the resources required to build one of them are massive. That's why they're being built all over the world, right? Probably takes a lot, right? Oh, shit. It's always Germany gets the short end of the stick. Hey, man, governments keep secrets. It's what they do. Really? This is what we're doing. Cracks me up, man. So this penguin, does he have a backpack or is that a jetpack or something? Like, what is that? He's like, the hell with it. Yeah, I'm feeling the tension for sure. I like it in the early episodes when she'd just come in and drink beer and get crunk, right? Such an attitude. Yeah, that changed up Suka's tone, didn't it? I guess I'll get the damn phone. What did I? How about you do it? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Next time you carry your menial ass over there to pick it up. Wow, she snatched the hell out of that phone. What a hot mess. That is interesting. I bet it does seem that way. I haven't been around many people who speak other languages, right? Look at her all happy. She's just being fake. It wouldn't matter what language this is. By the way, this isn't Japanese still, right? But they're pretending it's another language. That would be confusing as hell. For me, it's all good, right? Speaking German, so you say. That's still. Or is that really German? I wouldn't even actually even know. Maybe it is. Man, that was like 2 minutes. What are you talking about? That wasn't no damn long conversation. Why would you engage her in small talk? You don't engage a-holes, man. It never turns out well. Look at it. See? She turns on you. She turns on you, man. See, why would you engage her in small talk? It's what I've been saying all along. Don't engage in small talk with people who don't like you, who treat you badly. Like, just, you say nothing. You give them nothing. I'm just saying. Peace of mind. Really. We're bringing her period into it. Anyway, Klaus was talking about the German was really bad. Was it this show or is it something else? I can't remember. But it actually wouldn't surprise me. Let me know if that actually was German she was talking and how good or bad it was. Just curious. Why's it gotta be playing house? That's what I'm saying. I ain't taking your crap. Drown your loneliness with cats. That was a pretty harsh burn right there. Whoosh. That was a harsh burn. She didn't even have a retort. So I guess she is on her period. I thought they were just being snarky. What? Oh, okay. I see what she's doing. I thought maybe she saw somebody, right? No, she's centering herself. Oh, she did see somebody. Yeah, see, that was good body language right there. What's up, killer? Is the video still playing? What is happening, man? Is this part of the episode? Like, I'm so confused. Like, when do we have any sound? Take your time, show. Yeah. I was being an asshole, but that silence made this work. That long silence made this work. That was absolutely perfect. They did the right thing. Hell must have frozen over. My God. I say I'm an a-hole. She's the biggest one of all. Look at her. Such a jerk. So effing jealous. You just can't stand it. And all you do is whine and bitch. Kick her ass. She did, didn't she? You need to be locked up. Zero self control. She's like if a toddler was crossbred with like just like scientifically crossbred with a pit bull, right? That's what she is. Like, my God. Man, class is getting smaller and smaller. Open your heart, jerk. That's her biggest problem now. Can't take it. We have a problem. Trust me, we have a problem. You are an idiot. Your feelings are justified. So apparently these titles are different halfway through. Don't be. Which I think is really cool. Yeah, it's just hanging out up there. Like it's mocking us. Yep, you're pretty much screwed. Right. Super long range sniping. Feels a little redundant. Yeah, that's right. You. Back up. Whatever makes you feel bad. That's what we're doing. Because it's all about your feelings. I love their launch system. I don't think I've talked about this. It's a cool premise. Right. Maybe she should know this. Tell you what, though. Like, she's toxic. She's abusive. Has no focus. I would have done drummed her ass out of here, man. But she really, what she needed was the moment she got here, she needed somebody, a strong role model or somebody to personally guide her. She should be in a place by herself with this one other person, just like Shinji was. And they should have been guiding her every step of the way and mold her, try to channel her, because she has a lot of talent and she has the drive. She just needed focus, and she needed mentoring. She needed a mentor, and they didn't provide that. I think that's the biggest failing of the people in charge here. She needs somebody she respected or could grow to respect, because she probably doesn't respect anybody off the jump, right? Yeah, somebody she could complain to, because she's going to do a lot of complaining, of course. Uh oh. The hell? Is it a virus? Oh, crap. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Shoot it. Get this, son bitch. Somebody's got to go up there. Jesus. Yeah, that's right. Trash half the city. She's fired. Get her out of here. Unbelievable. She was already psychologically contaminated, to be fair, right? Maybe her analness can reject the mental invasion, right? It's like gaslighting. You can't gaslight an asshole because they just refuse to believe they can be wrong. And you got to gaslight somebody, you got to convince them they're wrong. And some people, you can't do that. You cannot convince them they're wrong about something. So gaslighting just doesn't work. She needs that attitude, right? Damn. I like how they're showing this. Are those words they're flashing, by the way? In Japanese script? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you need to get the hell out of here. Denied. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you can like about the stubbornness, the refusal to back down, right? She just needed to be molded and mentored. To feel like somebody was on her side, Because their biggest problem is insecurity and jealousy, right? Oh, she's going to save her ass after she got slapped by her. That's right, get him. Did it work? Crap. How about both of you at the same time? Two at once? It's an odd music choice, by the way. It's not working for the scene. But why specifically the pilot inside the suit? They could be scanning anybody, couldn't they? I think it's more than just trying to understand somebody. Yeah. Yeah, definitely looks pissed. Sticking up my new mommy's ass. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I ain't looking at nothing. I think these are words. Nine, Todd. That's all I can make up. Yep, the more you say it, the less I believe it. Tell you what, this voice actress is great, by the way. Fantastic. You can definitely feel like she's struggling mightily, right? Breaking my heart, man. And I don't even like the character, and she's breaking my heart. That's how good the voice actress is. Jesus. Well, that can't be good. Yeah, don't tell Kelly Loggins. That's for damn sure. Right, right. Uh oh. Here he is. Yeah, your psyche's already fragile. That's gonna be, yeah, let it happen. Right, now we're talking. But sir, shut the hell up, minion. He knows what he's talking about. But the last episode gave us a lot of insight to how he thinks, man. He doesn't care. Nothing matters to him except achieving his goal, whatever that happens to be, right? He does not care. I mean, we kind of knew that already, but they made it super obvious. This music is terrible. Right. Hey, man, how many times are you going to question me? The doomsday clock, to be specific. Screw him. That's right. Give me that damn spear. They're going to be big mad. Hey, kid, you want to hurry up? Like, she's literally dying up there. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. .06, man. That feels like that's an issue. We want to speed this up a little bit. That's right. What's that Olympics? Is that the javelin throw in the Olympics? That's right. Javelin that shit. Screw the countdown. I'm throwing now. That's right. Booyah! You thought. Man, I hate the Angels. Well, crap. We didn't intend that. Your little spear floating out there by the moon, that kind of blows. He threw the hell out of that thing. You realize how much force it would take to throw something from the ground through the Earth's gravity, outside of the Earth's gravity? Man, that'd take a lot. That is hilarious. That's really good. I love that. I bet he's killer at baseball. So now she's got to be grateful. Which she won't be, of course. Yeah, screw you. Did they hold up a cue card? It wasn't her, dumbass. See, this is the kind of toxicity you just can't have, man. Really? Wow, man. So toxic. So effing toxic. God, like they just screwed up, man. Like they should have had somebody mentoring her on her side, always taking her side, because her ego's so fragile, right? You just have to gently, very gingerly hold the ego together as much as you can. It's like confetti. You're trying to hold confetti together, right? That's how fragile her damn ego is. Obviously, her parents' fault. It's not her fault, but still, you know. But you needed that. She needed somebody she could turn to and trust and know was always going to be on her side no matter what. And the person would have to take her side no matter how stupid she's being. They have to take her side so she would trust them. And that person could slowly guide her on the correct path and get her away from being that person. I really believe that that's what they needed. The second she walked in the door, that's what I would have done. Of course, you got to identify. We only know this now. I didn't say this when we first saw her. But you assume that the leader, like, you know, Akara or whatever his name is, he would know this. Like, he knows everything. He researches everything. He puts into work. So he would have researched everything about her psychological profile, should have known this, and should have taken care of it. This would be in her file, right? So, the other thing, I know I made fun of it at the time, but I really love the scene in the elevator where it's just nothing for so long, and then finally she starts talking, and that's when the fight happens, right? Just why would you say anything? But I just love that. And the only thing that was confusing me, I had to actually make sure the video was still, because sometimes the video frees up. Usually it's obvious. Live action is not going to, in live action, there's going to be movement. In animation, when there's no movement, like they just keep the same cell in place, right? Why would they change the cell, right? So you literally can't tell if it's moving or not. In live action, if they're standing still, you can still tell. But yeah, so sometimes the video file will freeze, so I was a little confused there. But once I realized what was going on, that was so good. That I love how they did that.